Deanna Bailey with the Texas Blockchain Council, and I have the lucky honorary moment to be here with Mr. Jimmy Song. So Jimmy has been in the blockchain space for over 10 years, so we love to consider him a subject matter expert. What do you think about from 10 years ago to now, how much the landscape has changed around blockchain?
Well, I mean, when I first heard about it 10 years ago, Bitcoin had just broken $1. So it's 55,000 times more interesting at the moment. But yeah, I would say the big change is that there's a lot more mainstream acceptance, a lot more adoption, a lot more people interested in its properties as sound money, as a savings vehicle, as a way to change a lot of different things in society. And obviously, I couldn't be more thrilled. I think even the past year and a half, I keep thinking, like, what would the world be like if I didn't have Bitcoin in it? It would be extremely depressing.
Right.
Let's just put it that way. So yeah, very glad to be here. Very glad to see Bitcoin develop the way it has.
Yeah, it's nice. It's fun to be on the cutting edge, right? A little more interesting than the regular life. What got you into Bitcoin?
Oh, I was well positioned because I'm a programmer by trade. So when I heard about it, and also I have libertarian leanings. So 2008 sort of like turned me into a libertarian. And when I first heard about it in 2011, everything kind of fell into place for me. And when I read that story that Bitcoin had reached dollar parity, and I read about it, like the first thing I heard was there's a 21 million limit, and almost immediately I was like, okay, I get the scarcity. I better be one of the first people to get this thing and not one of the last. And despite that conviction, I couldn't buy any because it was very difficult at the time. You had to transfer money to a money transmitter called Dwala, and then they would send it to an exchange in Japan called Mt. Gox, and it was very complicated. So one of the biggest regrets in my life is not buying Bitcoin at $1.
Yeah.
I did eventually get in, but yeah, obviously everyone has their Bitcoin regret story about how they didn't buy it the first time they heard about it. So I have mine. Yeah.
I think everybody has one of those. So as a libertarian, what do you think about all of the government or all the interaction that we're having now?
Yeah, it's a little strange for me. I haven't voted in 10 years, so it's like I'm interviewing Ted Cruz on stage. It's a very strange place for me to be in because I literally have not paid attention to political news in like 5 years, right? Like I purposefully cut that out of my life. But now I'm having to pay attention again because Bitcoin has sort of reached that level where this stuff is starting to matter. And I think Cruz said it on stage, do not underestimate what governments can do to sort of make your life completely and utterly miserable. So
we saw that this last year, right?
Yeah, and so I think he's right. I think we do have to take that to heart and try to be as sort of like prophylactic in our preparation as much as possible.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And so I understand you have a book that just came out?
It came out almost a year ago. It's called Thank God for Bitcoin. It's a moral argument for money from a Christian perspective.
Nice.
And we spend the first 7 chapters not even really mentioning the word Bitcoin, but sort of analyzing the current monetary system from a biblical perspective. And not surprisingly, we come out as saying, hey, the current monetary system is highly immoral, and this is what Bitcoin fixes. That's the last 2 chapters, so yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and you guys, if you get the chance, please look up Mr. Jimmy Song. He is a very well-known and respected person in the Bitcoin industry, and I'm honored that I had the opportunity to interview you, so thank you.
I'm honored to be here, thank you.